Arsene, if I can take you back to last weekend and the victory at Hull, it was a great victory for Arsenal, back on form.
Yes, it was in the continuity of the West Ham game, and we knew away from home we needed absolutely to win the game. We did it in a convincing way, I think, even if we suffered through some periods in the season, especially at the start of the game in the first 15-20 minutes.
Can you believe the impact of Aaron Ramsey so after the fact he'd been out so long, of course? He came back and hit the ground running.
He is refreshed, and you could see that, added certainly to the desire of the fact that when you've been out, you realize how much you miss it, with a conjunction of refreshment physically and mentally as well. And our creative potential was bigger again, and he takes, of course, advantage of that. He pushes the team forward, and his drive in the game was very influential.
Did it take you back to October, November time where Arsenal were flying top of the league? It seemed that kind of victory, and it was typical of the victories that we had away from home at that period of time.
Well, let's be cautious, and I believe that it's linked with the confidence. I don't think it's only linked with the comeback of one or two players. I think overall the team performance is always linked with the confidence and the belief of the whole team. And this is back and is stronger again than it was 1 month ago.
Lucas Podolski got 2 goals in the game. Just looking at the spread of goals, Giroud's got 20, Ramsey's got 14, Podolski's got 12. Those are the 3 players in double figures. Is that kind of the spread you want, or do you want another player in double figures, 1 in the 20s, 3 in double figures?
Ideally, you want everybody in double figures, but that's not possible. But you can have 3 over 10 or 4 over 10 would be ideal, and the rest between from midfield to up front between 5 and 10. That's right.
Everton lost on Saturday. That means 2 home wins, and Arsenal will be in the top 4. Is that the way you're going to describe it to your players?
Well, in our job, you go to the next game, and does Everton win or lose? You know that you want to win your next game after the convincing win at Hull. It is important for us to show continuity, and we know what is at stake, and to do it again at home against Newcastle will be, of course, very important. After we know now it's game by game, and give absolutely everything in the next game.
I know the way you're going to answer this, but it does leave the chance of getting it done early. That obviously there's still teams to beat. We don't want to count our chickens, but it would be a great advantage to be able to rotate ahead of the FA Cup final.
Look, I believe always every game you win makes you stronger, and let's be realistic. If we have, I think we are intelligent people, and if we learn something from this Premier League championship, is just think about the next one. Look at the results that have been surprises all along the season. And if we have learned something, it is just let's focus on the next game and give absolutely everything, because this Premier League is very tricky.
You're right, because when Everton beat Arsenal, it was all about Everton, Everton, Everton. It's a different pressure when you're leading, and they've dropped a result against Crystal Palace, lost to Southampton.
Yes, we have learned to deal with that kind of pressure, and we have to show maturity, and maturity, I believe, is linked with focus on the right perspective, on the right target, and the right target for us is Newcastle.
Let's talk about Newcastle then. They come into this game on the back of 5 straight defeats. They've only scored 10 Premier League goals in 2014. Their form is not good, let's face it.
They have potential in their team, and I believe that the history, their recent history is not so positive, but the potential is there, and that's why we want to focus on keeping them quiet and have a good defensive performance. That's the basis for us. And we know we have players who can make a difference, like Sissoko is back, Remy, Gouffran, you know, Ben Arfa when he plays. All these players can make a big difference. So for us it is very important to keep them quiet.
You spoke about the defensive stability there, and it was a clean sheet last week, and you must have been pleased about that, because it's a statistic we've not struggled with in recent weeks, but we've been conceding too many goals in recent weeks.
We have, and look, we have been or very tight or very open, and there was no in between, and that's why the confidence of a team is linked as well with the defensive stability, and we want to take care of that.
Just going back to Newcastle, obviously the form's not great, but as you say, they are a decent side. Still been in the top 10. It shows how good they were at the start of the season.
They were in a very strong position at Christmas. That shows that the potential is there. After they lost some big players for injuries, and they lost as well Kabay, and that of course didn't help them.
What did you make of Ryan Giggs' first game as Manchester United manager?
Well, I believe they had a convincing win, but you don't judge a manager on one game. You know, manager is 10 years at least, and it's very difficult to have an assessment on anybody on one game. Would not be fair.